Okay.
Okay. The theater was built in 1903. It served primarily as a touring house on the vaudeville circuit from Boston to New York City for about 20 years. Closed for a couple of years and reopened as a movie house, running first-run movies. There were about 11 other theaters in Pittsfield.
Mm-hmm.
The Colonial ran the first run. So if you couldn't see it at the Colonial, you went to the cheaper place down the street. Closed as a movie house around the time of the Great Depression, TV, competition.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Closed. George Miller was a local businessman who had an art supply store. He bought the building at an auction because he said he would save it. The other developers were going to knock it down and build a parking lot. So he saved it. He ran his art supply store out of the front of the building in the historic lobby, put in a temporary floor, a drop ceiling, and a drop wall in the back, and ran his store out of there for about 40 years. And the Colonial Theatre Association began to talk about restoring the theater in about 1975. And talks kind of continued until about 2000 when it really started the raising money to buy the building and do all the restoration. So they bought the building, and I think it was around 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And they began restoration. There was a big asbestos curtain they had to take out. They ripped up the floor was dirt, so
Okay.
they ripped up all of the dirt. There was a big hole right here. They redid the floors. They had to do grading up so we could have the different levels. Redid the floors, put the seats in. This was a big hole. They had to redo the ceiling, the roof, and
Mm-hmm.
put in 4 posts in all the corners. All new production equipment.
Okay.
Rigging was all new.
Lighting.
Lighting was all new. There's an orchestra pit right under here. The first 2 rows come out when we do use the orchestra pit. There's a lift. There's a lift pit. We don't have a lift yet. Couldn't afford one. So we have a pit for future. The backstage space that you came into, the office, was actually the old Berkshire Auto Company building. It was built in 1913, more Art Deco style, and that was purchased at the same time as the Colonial. So we knocked holes in the wall and made it one big space. We opened in August of 2006. 2 days from now is our birthday, 3 years.
Oh.
And we opened with a 7-day run of rent. So
Okay.
the rest is history.
And you were there when James made it himself?
I've been here for about 4.5 years.
What about that?
So, James, it was unlike anything any of us have really ever seen. There were cranes in here with cameras on them. They took seats out. It was the big time.
Sidney Pollack was there.
I'm sorry?
Sidney Pollack.
Yes. Sidney Pollack was here. There were a lot of big names here.
Oh.
They had trailers in the parking lot. Big buses, production trailers. I went into them. It was amazing. But we had 2 days of 2 performances. James did. We had full houses that sold out in 2 hours, I think. And then there were a couple days during the day where we asked some of our high-level donors, some special people to come in, and then he sat them probably in this first block. There were about 40 people that he used as kind of audience shots, and he recorded a couple of songs. So it was amazing.
And James Taylor, what is the engagement, the personal engagement of James Taylor with the Colonial?
He's been supportive from the beginning. He has visited. He has come to some of our events. He did that was probably one of his biggest, formal, supportive engagements that he's done. But he's very supportive. He's in touch.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Jessie.
you. Nice to
and
meet you.
See you soon there or elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday.
Yes,
I'm going to the show.
To the show.
Yeah.
So we.
I will be there.
Okay, it's good. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
It's very kind. Very kind.
Good, you're welcome. My pleasure. It's easy. I lived it.